The Mi'kmaq had a way to get along with sharks, using roots from a spruce tree.
The shark doesn't want to come close to the shore. If you come too close to the shore, you risk the chance of beaching yourself. What my people knew through generations of observation, they would take roots and tie it to the bottom of the canoe with eelgrass or with different things that would be close to the shore. The roots hanging in the water would put off an oil that sharks could taste. Then if the shark seen the bottom of the canoe, instead of thinking, oh, that looks like a lovely seal for lunch, he would feel nervous because he might be too close to the shoreline.
And the logical leap that many observers seemed to make was that the Earth would be better off without humans. I reject that leap. The Earth may be better off without certain systems we have created, but we are not those systems. What if I told you that the Earth needs us? What if I told you that we belong here? What if I told you I've seen my people turn deserts into gardens? What if these human hands and minds could be such a great gift to the Earth that they sparked new life wherever people and purpose met? Why try to control the Earth when you can work with her? Why put plants and animals into farms and cages when you can simply make a home for them? Decenter humans. Create non-human-centric systems. Why hoard for your own species when you can live to serve all life around you? By planting kelp forests where the herring lay their eggs. This helps that small silverfish lay even more eggs, and both the eggs and the hatched herringfish cascade up the food chain, nourishing so many other life forms. We must also work to return some of these lands to their original caretakers.
I think I'll take my whiskey neat, my coffee black and my bed at 3. You're too sweet for me. You're
This is an airport, home to a forest of 3,000 trees. This 5-story glasshouse has turned what was once a concrete car park into a wonderland of hedge mazes, netted walkways, even the world's tallest indoor waterfall. This is the power that gardens have to transform our world, even in the least likely of places.
Spring water forms that what I call star fern hexagon. Rainwater forms a fanning pattern with a curve. Tap water tends to be very, very disordered. You can actually use my freezing method to freeze urine as well. It shows you the difference between someone who is highly stressed and then that same person 1 hour after they've done meditation, their urine looks completely different. I don't recommend drinking municipal tap water, at least gone through a filter. If you have to buy water, then I would buy a spring water. Put your hand in the water and take it out. And then he tested for chlorine. It wasn't there. There was none in it. My body had absorbed it all. Get yourself like a blue glass bottle. When light shines through the blue glass, and it's the only time I would ever recommend putting water in the sunshine, you make something called blue solar water with it. Even a simple thank you is going to make a difference as to the way the water is received. The power is with you. The moment we start thinking, what can I do for this water, rather than what can it do for me?
So I have a question for you. Why did the Persians, the Chinese, and the Spanish all have courtyards? They don't live near each other, so it's not a cultural thing, and yet they all decided that homes should be in a U shape and the opening should be facing north. That's because these civilizations lived in hot climates. And a courtyard is actually how they kept their homes cool in the summer. By having these walls surround the area, the courtyard is protected and always in the shade. And heat always chases cold. So by creating this cooler protected spot on the sides of your house, it would help draw the heat out of your home. So courtyards have an actual function. And because they're protected from the elements, they're a great place for recreation, including if you want to add a pool. In fact, adding a pool increases the effectiveness of your courtyard. Now, obviously, this isn't a replacement for air conditioning, but it can decrease your load, which means you don't need as much power.
heat wave happening in East Africa right now, meaning that temperatures are extremely high, which is calling for animals and people to really stay hydrated. And because of this, you would expect the water prices to reduce or not to increase. But guess what? The water prices have abnormally increased, especially in areas in the country that water is not for free. And I went to a faraway village from my home to visit. And there's a natural spring that used to be very clean, very safe to use, and it's highly polluted. Check. Clearly, the water has been polluted and it's not safe for use anymore. And this happens because we aren't preserving nature, because we have all these many options, tap, and because of the desire for new constructions, which is good, but we can still welcome modernity while preserving tradition, because clearly this natural spring provides water when it's safe. The water is full of minerals, chemical free and free. This is the water our old people used. You know, like they got water for free without worrying about the bills. So it's upon you and me to preserve nature, because nature will always supply for us abundantly and freely. This pot right here is my jig. This is bottled water. Very famous in the cities. It's very good drinking mineral water. But if you visit my village and you ask for water, you may not see this. And let me show you how we make drinking water in this beautiful village. First step, light the fire. After lighting the fire, second step is getting the water. Yeah, my legs are so strong. I know. Don't do it at home, okay? Set your big saucepan on fire. It's better to use big saucepans because then you make the water once. And once the water reaches boiling point, it's time to transfer the water to the pot. Be careful. And here is our precious little guy that stores the water in this village. It keeps the water very cool, and so the water has to be sieved to be safe. And the reason we boil the water is to make sure we have the water safe from any kind of contamination. And this is borehole water, underground water. Of course, the boreholes are well constructed, but all the same, it's safer to just boil the water and then sieve it so that the water is clean. This particular cloth is strictly for sieving drinking water. Done pouring the water, and the next thing is you open the water so that it aerates. And once all the steam has passed out, I'll later come back and cover the water. By the way, make sure you pour water in a clean pot. This pot has been washed. It has been hit by fire. So the water is going to come out really tasty and yummy. So I'll go wash this for the next water sieve. And that's how we make water. So when you come to visit, I'm going to get you water from this.
Have you ever seen this pagan symbol and thought to yourself, what the heck does that mean? This is the Triskelion, one of the oldest symbols I've talked about so far. Welcome to episode 15 of Pagan Symbols from Around the World. This symbol can be traced back to the Neolithic era, basically a name for the New Stone Age, as far back as 10,000 BC. This represents cycles, progress, and motion, and is often interpreted as embodying life, death, and rebirth. The cycle of life. And it could also represent how earth, water, and sky are all interconnected. This symbol was found in many cultures, from Norse to Celtic to Greek. And in Celtic belief, this symbol represents the triple goddess. Spiritually, a lot of people use it to represent the three realms: the mind, the body, and the spirit. And modern pagans use them a lot for rituals and meditations, to invoke change and growth. And you can also wear it as a talisman or a necklace, to represent protection and the flow of life's energy. What symbol should I dive into next? I'm glad you're enjoying these videos. Thank you for all the amazing support. Stay awesome. All love.
Oftentimes we see all of this right here and just think forest. But really every single plant here has been planted and cultivated. For instance, this tree right here was planted by my parents long ago. Has this beautiful purple flower. And it's medicine, and these new leaves right here work really well for wounds. And not too far from that tree is all of this, which is one of my favorite leaf shapes. These leaves are very special because they are used for cooking. And when we wrap our food with this leaf and we cook it, it gives this very sweet taste. It's so delicious. So just walking from right there, right over here, we have this beautiful plant. And I love when leaves have like 5 coming out. It reminds me of our own palms. And you go all the way down and pull this root up. This is where you find manioc, which is one of the staple foods of many tropical communities and countries. I happen to live in a floodplain, which my family has lived in this type of area for generations. And my generation is actually the first generation to be born in a time where we are settled as a people. Because before, our communities used to move up and down river and had an extensive territory, extensive land that they had relations with. I want to show you one more thing. The thing I want to show you is way up there. Whether you hate or love this fruit, I think it's important to know what the leaf looks like. That right there, my friends, is papaya. It's one of the prettiest leaf structures that I've ever seen. I'm getting ants. Ants are crawling on me. Looks like they really love papaya too. Wow, look at them. Look at them go.
If you get asked to introduce yourself, most people would start with their name.
Hi, I'm Scarlett.
But here in Aotearoa, we would start with our mountain.
Ko Nungotaha te maunga.
Ko Teitohea te maunga.
Ko Maunga Tautari te maunga.
Ko Hikurangi te maunga.
Maunga. Yeah. Maunga. Mauna.
Māori people have a deep connection to the whenua, and we use things like our mountains and rivers to tell the story of who we are and where we come from, even going all the way back to which waka or canoe that our tupuna came here on. And it's through this story that connections between people and iwi are made. We call this our pepeha.
Ko Kakipoku te maunga.
Ko Waiora te awa.
Ko Tainui te waka. Ko Tarimano te marae.
Ko Ngāti Piro te iwi.
You see, Māori believe that everybody is connected to everyone else through the whenua that they come from. And our pepeha shows us how we're connected. Māori stuff's cool, eh?